Childhood was great. I grew up in a poorer side of London. I didn't know anything different. My primary school was all black. We had like 3 white people in the whole school.
She's been behind the mic, behind the scenes, and at the center of pushing Afro beats to the global stage. As the UK's leading female Afrobeats journalist and a top music exec, Gracie May has helped shape the sound of a generation, from co-writing the Grammys African category proposal to spotlighting African talent worldwide. Off stage, she's a globetrotter with 47 countries under her belt, a wellness warrior who lost 33 kg while sharing her journey with PCOS. She's all about impact, intention, and amplifying African culture every step of the way. This is Gracie May on the Open Up podcast.
We do not need to put Afro in front of every genre. Afro R&B does not exist. It's R&B. Just because we have an accent or the person is of African heritage does not mean that the genre changes.
Open Up Podcast Season 3 Global Edition is brought to you by Credit Dara.
Hi, Gracie.
Hi.
Hi, nice to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
I should, usually I'll be welcoming people, but now it's like, I'm welcoming myself into your town.
Yeah, welcome to London. I was so confused. Like, what's happening?
Like, what's happening?
Yeah, welcome to London.
Thank you.
You brought the good weather with you, so thank you.
Sorry? I got
the
I heard. So when I packed my clothes and then I felt the weather, I was like,
No, you got it right. I'm in long sleeves, sweating, but it's okay.
So how have you been? How's everything? How's life?
Life is good. Can't complain.
I was reading about you, and in my mind, I was thinking, how is she doing all these things together? You know, like we already know the fact that you're with the Grammys, the fact that you have your own PR company, the fact. I'm like, how are you able to manage all of this, especially in the UK, the whole Afrobeats journalists interviewing the celebrities, making such a big name for yourself? And that's why we had to do this sit down and just chat and get into it. So how long have you been in the UK?
Born and raised Londoner, but Niger by blood, Yoruba and Igbo. I spent so much time in Abeokuta with my grandparents, and I'm a Yoruba babe.
Yoruba babe by association and blood and everything.
Yes.
But I know you're born and raised here, but I'm sure you also know, of course, that you're connected to your roots. And so these are big achievements to have done, and so many people are inspired by it. So I wanted to find out the journey to where you have reached currently, but also find out what it was like growing up, since you were born and raised in London, but in a multi-African, I don't know
household.
What would I even call that? Because not multi-tribal, multi-racial, but also African as well. How was that like growing up?
Childhood was great. I grew up in a poorer side of London, so Hackney before it got gentrified. And honestly, I didn't know anything different. My primary school was all black. We had like 3 white people in the whole school. And it meant that I was around a lot of Jamaicans, a lot of Caribbeans, because at the time, like the major Niger influx hadn't quite happened yet. Well, not in our area. And so, I would go to Grandad every other weekend and hear like King Sunny Ade, Ebenezer Obey. But in the house, my mum would play like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Boyz II Men. And so my experience with being Nigerian was very much through church, through weddings, naming ceremonies.
They say Nigerians are loud. Do you agree?
I'm loud, and I'm Nigerian, so I'll let you.
So tick.
Well, yeah. And I don't know. I think my experience was very much the Niger Black British experience, where you feel connected to home through the cultural events that you attend. But as someone who is Igbo and Yoruba, I don't speak any Niger languages, so I was slightly removed. And then even more than that, my mum was also born here. So she's one step removed, and I guess I'm second generation. But always, actually, this is a good point to make. I think growing up, I felt more Black British than anything. Went to secondary school, which was predominantly white. I was one of them 3 black girls in the whole year.
Ooh, wow.
And then was forced to look at myself in the mirror and be like, oh, I'm not as British as I thought. These guys are English, they're British, and I'm me. And it kind of snowballed into me kind of re-identifying with being Nigerian, I guess, when I turned 16.
Oh, okay.
Which is a whole other story in and of itself. But it meant that from that moment, I was super passionate about being Nigerian, promoting Nigerianism in the UK.
Do you know the only thing I hate more than paying bills? It is when the payment does not go through. I will just be thinking to myself like, why? Sometimes my light will finish and I'll top up only for me to see that the payment did not reflect. I don't get it. I'll just feel like going outside to scream and just tear my wig. I'm just kidding. But that was before I started paying my bills through the Credit Direct app. Now all things have passed away because I've never seen a transaction happen so fast. With Credit Direct, I can buy light, I can pay for DSTV or GoTV, I can buy airtime, or I can even get data all in a few seconds. This way I console myself with the fact that I can make all my payments in record time, like the responsible adult I am. And that's why I said, let me put you on too. So go to your App Store or Play Store to download the Credit Direct app and start paying your bills easily, quickly, and without overthinking it. Because if I don't put you on, who will? Are you still watching this? My friend, go to the App Store or Play Store. Yeah, please now. Yeah, good now, okay? Don't forget to use OpenUp as your referral code when signing up.
Was that like finding your identity or like connecting yourself to your roots?
Yeah, I would say so. I think at the time, a lot of Nigerians wanted to be Jamaican because that was a predominant black culture here, or wanted to be any type of Caribbean. From funkifying their names to speaking in patois accents when they've never been to the Caribbean. And I think my experience of that was, I know that that's not me and that's not what I want to emulate, but who am I? And I'd say that my introduction to being Nigerian for myself was through Nollywood, through Style Plus, through, these entertainment
So you were very
elements.
connected to the movies, the music.
Do you remember Blackberry Babes?
Yeah,
that was one of my first introductions to, this is what
Did you
Nigeria
like
is.
it?
Yeah, I mean, we all did. It was a cultural moment, if you will, but it was a way for me to feel Nigerian without seeing Nigeria through the lens of my parents, where a lot of the reports from back home were armed robbers and theft, and in fact, a lot of my friends would go as far as saying that their parents would threaten them with being shipped back home. Like Nigeria was this like boogeyman place, and so I think from 16 onwards, I was able to find, thank God for the internet, Nigeria for myself. And really
but you said you were with your grandparents in Abeokuta. So was this when you were still a teenager or younger?
So my granddad would, as most affluent Nigerians would do half a year here, half
in Nigeria.
Yeah. So we had a strong bond. So all the Ebenezer Obey, Sunny Days and everything I'm saying was here. But actually going home was in my 20s when I was like, okay, I can't just champion the music as a second generation Nigerian. I actually have to go and experience the culture for myself. To the point where I lived in Nigeria on and off for like 2 years.
Whoa.
Yeah, as an adult, driving on the streets of Nigeria. Yeah,
where? In Abeokuta?
No, in Lagos.
In Lagos?
Yeah, my family house is in Yaba. And so,
Lagos experience.
Yeah, doing that third mainland bridge with the rest of everyone, boy, an experience. But I wanted to
and even driving on the other side of the road.
First of all, driving automatic. When I'm here, I drive manual. Then driving on the other side of the road. Then driving with people that are great, blessed and highly favored.
Yeah.
An experience. But I think until you're able to live in a country as a local, it will always feel like a vacation. And so it was a challenge I set for myself. And I'm so happy that I did it, because a lot of the networks that I built virtually, I was able to really cement by being at home for the period I was. And then going to Abeokuta, from Yaba to Abeokuta is a train. Thank God for the Chinese.
You are using the train.
Yeah.
I think you got that from the UK culture.
Yeah, to be fair, the train was very empty. But it's great. They have AC, they've got power, they've got films.
I agree. It's just not a part of the thing. So even when I was checking the map and I'm like seeing train, underground, bus, I'm like, Google Map had all of this? I didn't know. But like generally, the experience for you, because this is you now like spending your, early adults, childhood to being an early adult in the UK and coming back. Apart from like road rage that we have in Nigeria, but like, did you think that some of the narratives were true?
I think the thing that shocked me the most, coming to Nigeria as an adult, was it was loud. Nigeria's loud. Between the horns and the hawking, Nigeria's loud. And that's something I didn't expect. But in terms of negative stereotypes, I think our parents, or my parents at least, grew up in a Nigeria of a different time. So maybe some of the stuff that they mentioned around kidnapping, around armed robbers was true then, and maybe even true of the village. But I was running Lagos like I was running London. It was great. I was enjoying the nightlife. I was working in the day. I would go sometimes to a workspace. There was no amenities that I had here that I didn't have access to at home. Data, sometimes tricky, but I was always online.
So it's not like what people think.
No, like I for a very, very long time, I was actually looking forward to moving to Nigeria. And then I recentered myself and was like, okay, my selling points, if you will, is that I'm the Niger babe that knows London, that knows Europe, that knows the UK. And so, I pivoted a bit, but yeah, I mean, in a heartbeat, if the right opportunity came along.
So I think that kind of explains your interest in music, knowing that, your grandfather, already, groomed you in that way. But like Afrobeats, interviewing, what made you start that?
So I've been on radio now for 10 years. The first 2 years I had a hip hop and R&B show. And around the time we had a few moments on this side where Afrobeats kind of pierced through. So we had like Oliver Twist with the band.
True.
We had Antenna.
Wait. Before you move on, I know what the reaction was like back home. It was big deal for everyone. But on the other end, how do you think it was?
Astronomical. Like, this was one of the first songs to really chart. It was one of the first impressions that the general UK public had of Africans. And if you think up until this point, in the UK we have this thing called Comic Relief and we have Sports Relief Day, and there are two specific moments where the general public will watch a televised show where they show about famine and they show about illness and stuff on the continent. And for so long the media only portrayed Africa in mud huts with kwashiorkor, with HIV, and obviously these are narratives that are still true, but that was the only narrative that was being pushed. Oliver Twist was a breaking moment where people could see, oh my gosh, not only do we have like fun Africans, but we have affluent Africans. If you remember the video, he's in the top hat, he's dancing.
Yeah.
It showed just another side. And by this point, I would say, this is probably 10 years after I had entered the schooling system, there were a lot more Nigerians here anyway. And a conversation I usually have is around that time, we didn't really have third spaces. If you wanted to meet other Nigerians, you'd go to a religious place, so a mosque or a church. You'd go to a wedding, like I say, you'd go to a naming ceremony. But we didn't necessarily have as many restaurants. We didn't have as many anything.
Spots.
And so this meant that, okay, when we go to the club, we know we're not going to hear any African music until maybe the last song of the night. And actually maybe even the penultimate song of the night, because they like to slow down with R&B. But at a point, it was only Premier Goa that was the song that we would look forward to. So in the club, we'd have one song a night, probably Premier Gao, and Oliver Twist came, and then it knocked it out the water for Nigerians. And then we had Fuse ODG with Azonto and Antenna. And then we had, I would say, a year or two where we could say, oh my gosh, we have visibility in the charts. The English consciousness is now aware that we make music and it's not just this poverty-stricken narrative. And honestly, it gave me the motivation to be like, okay, as I'm doing this self-development and I'm falling in love with Style Plus and P Square and all the other guys that were huge at home but hadn't necessarily had the same charting success here, it empowered me to go to the station and say, hey, we need an Afrobeat show. We need one now. And I was met with a lot of no's. And then I was met with a yes. And it literally snowballed from there. People like Smade and Shopsy were really, I'd say, instrumental to my early broadcasting career in Afrobeat specifically, because Smade was one of the first promoters bringing Afrobeat artists over. And there was only maybe 2 or 3 shows at the time that were promoting African music. So you had DJ Edu, who's been on BBC for like 20 years. You had DJ Branty on Capital Extra, and this was around the time he was getting sick. So they had a rotating host. And then you had Chopsy at the Beat. And so they would make sure that the artists would also come to our station to promote their events, to promote their tours, to promote their shows.
So you were like the gap, the bridge, rather.
We were the only female. I was the only female because at the time I was co-hosting my show with 2 men that was really championing Afrobeat. So between then and now, I've been able, and God is so good, to interview over 300 artists.
Whoa!
Davido, Yemi Alade, Tiwa Savage, Thames, Iris Star, Ruga, literally anyone that's in the top 20 right now has passed through either my station, my show, or some of the publications that
How does that make you feel?
I feel really blessed because I know that it was as pivotal to the culture and the community as it was to me.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have a passion about music. It's another thing to see it being embraced by the audience. It's another thing entirely to have the artists, the teams, and the labels seeing the value in your platform in terms of breaking the music to a new territory. And honestly, as much as it's work, I'm making artists' dreams come true. They want to be 100%. They want to meet.
And when you think about how it is right now, where Nigerian artists are like closing down the O2 arenas and, you know, winning the Grammys, like, are you back home like, oh my God, yes?
I contributed to it, and honestly,
I like it.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Especially at the time when I say I was trying so hard to get a show. Who would have known this many years later that everybody's playing Afrobeats now on all of the stations?
So this is quite interesting because I know that you also told the Grammys, or you were contributing to the African category for the. How did that happen?
So I'm a member of the Academy. I'm part of the recruitment committee as well. So over the last 3 years, I've helped over 300 people become members. And there were ongoing conversations about representation in general. So we have a reggae category, but we never had any category specific for African music. Now, at the time that I joined the Academy, one proposal had already been submitted and rejected for awards just for African music. And so when I came in, one of the things that I'm super passionate about in general is representation, especially for Africans. And so I went straight to the head of Global and said, hey, what are we doing? And he was like, it's so funny you saying that because I'm having conversations with many other people. Let me add you to the team. So there were 10 of us. And obviously then being in America, I was on 12 a.m., 1 a.m. calls debating whether it should be called the best Afrobeats category or the best African music category, because a few other American awards had gone with the Afrobeats route. I was very strong in positioning African music because it's 54 countries, it's over 60 genres. When you say Afrobeats, you're restricting it to one region, one type of sound, and it's not inclusive. Off the back of those calls, we then put a proposal together, and I was in charge of the data collection, if you will. So a healthy category at the Grammys is any category that will have more than 100 submissions. And so I was responsible for proving that we'd get more than 100 submissions. Now, if you know anything about New Music Friday, I do a weekly playlist. We have 100 to 150 songs dropping every week. Talk less of 100 songs every year. So it was a very tedious task to collate, you know, songs that have been released. I think I actually went back 3 years, but it was so, what's what I'm looking for? It was so humbling to know that this is going to outlive me. The Grammys have been going on for 60 something years and will hopefully go on for another 60 years, well past me. And somebody's going to be winning the best African performance act because I was bold enough and brave enough to have those conversations.
I wish I had flowers so I can give you your flowers.
But, you know, I think there's so much more happening with the Grammys that, you know, I'm not at liberty to say right now, but they're looking at having a more permanent presence on the continent. We're discussing currently having more categories for African music. And all of that is because a group of us said, okay, enough is enough. We are global enough. We deserve the recognition. We're providing value to the global music space. We should have this. And, you know, Tyler won last year. Thames won this year. Love that women have won it for the first two as well. So, yeah, only up from here.
Only up from here. I mean, that is... I don't know if I should use the word super inspiring. It's like, it's giving underdog because a lot of people do not know this. And it's so big. Like, the ripple effects of that decision is humongous. Like, literally, you should have a star with your name on it. Honestly, it's I don't think we should play it down. It's nothing to be played down, and it's incredible because you're doing this as a woman, and then you have your own PR company. So I'm tying the dots now that this is still back to the representation of Africa and projecting Africa. So I'm going to guess that most of your clients are Africans.
So we exclusively look after Africans and artists from the diaspora. When I was in broadcasting, and I mean I still am, I'd say maybe halfway through my journey, a lot of the artists would say, hey Gracie, we come to you, but where else do we go in terms of radio? How else can we promote our music in terms of platforms? And obviously being a radio host, I had other friends at radio
as well.
So doing media tours came very easily. I transitioned from just broadcasting to also written interviews. And so then I had journalist friends, so it was very easy to then do PR because I was just putting them onto my other
Your
PR friends.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, at a point it was like, okay, we need to formalize this. So launched the company in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
We now have a global team of 11 across Lagos, Abuja and London. We represented everyone, including artists like Bob Marley. Well, his estate, he dropped an album called Africa Unite 2 years ago. And we were responsible for the global campaign, which was incredible. And in everything that I've said, it's been teamwork, it's been collaboration. I think the one thing that's been missing in terms of pushing the culture and the community forward is sometimes people...
do music now too.
Oh yeah, don't worry, we get it there.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of people go through doors and then shut them. Either to censor themselves in the story or to maintain some kind of control. And I think one of the things that I've been really, I know one of the things I've been super passionate about is with every venture, I'm doing it with people. So Afro Nation, which was my first radio show specifically for Afrobeats, it was me and two amazing gentlemen. With Afrobeats, my current radio show now, it's me and another female. With May, we're a team of 11, and we don't just look after musicians now, we look after actors, actresses, content creators, DJs, the plethora of entertainers, because we saw a gap and said, okay, musicians have quite good PR and marketing now,
but
what about the rest of the entertainment ecosystem? And so, everything, to God be the glory, has been an organic build on what's been done before. And
what's your biggest, and like where are you going to? I mean, I know you're ambitious, but like with this African strategy, with the African talent, what is the biggest thing that happened to you that you can probably just cry from the sheer impact of it?
I don't think it's happened yet.
I know, that's what.
Oh,
no, not
so
sorry. I meant that would happen, or you want to happen. Yeah.
I think generally my goal is, and this is going to sound so nerdy, but I believe that we can encourage investment in Africa when we improve the image of Africa. The easiest way to improve the masses' perception of Africa is through entertainment. A lot of people didn't know that we had 2-story houses, elevators, cars, anything, because the media had portrayed Africa in one way, and entertainment has steadily moved that needle. So when we're doing PR and marketing for an actress or an actor or for a musician, it's not contained in and of itself. It's because I'm passionate about generally changing the perception of Africa. If we get more investment, we get more tourism. If we get more investment, we have more businesses. If we get more investment critically, we get more autonomy. We don't have to rely on the West. All of that comes through people seeing Africa as a viable place to invest. And the first way to do that with the masses is through entertainment.
So I know you've been to, correct me, is it about 49 or 48 countries?
47.
40. I'm adding.
Don't worry.
I'm adding one for you.
Get to 50. Yeah.
47 countries. First of all, like, why? One, then two. What has the experience been like?
I love traveling.
Yeah.
Full stop. And I've been everywhere. I've been to China. I've been to Thailand. I've been to, obviously, Nigeria, Ghana. I've been to Tanzania, Morocco, Tunisia, all over Europe. I've done Canada. In fact, last year we did a 30-stop tour across Canada and the US. So out of the 50 states, I think I've done half. I've done Mexico. I am a person that if you say we're going on a holiday and you tell me that it's a beach holiday, I will politely decline. But if it's about going to somewhere where I can experience the culture, meet the people, eat new food, I'm a foodie.
You jump on board.
I will be there.
2 more things I'm very curious about. I was looking through your Instagram, and when you came, I was like, girl, you've lost a lot of weight. Yeah. That's one. And then I know that there has been the PCOS journey that you have been going through. Do you want to share more about that? Because this is something that has been happening to women, but not enough awareness that is going on, and there's like still kind of like a stigma around it. But how has that been for you?
Yeah, so I'll start with the fitness journey.
Okay.
I've spent the last 10 years building everybody else's career, building everybody else's self-esteem, putting strategies together, implementing them, taking them from where they are to where they want to be. And I was like, okay, this year has to be personal. So as much as you're seeing the outward change, if you go into my Bible app now, I've done like 124 days straight, read the Bible
365.
Not yet, don't worry. This time next year we'll come back. And
there's a plan that is like 365.
Yes, I'm doing the 365 the Bible in a year. I did it last year. But the streak is a record of you reading every day. True. And I've done 4 months without fail. So I'm doing the internal work. and hopefully y'all can see it because I'm not as crazy.
We're seeing it.
And then physically, I'm also like, okay, I wanted to prioritize myself, so I'm working out. I'm watching what I eat. I'm hungry all the time. I'm not hungry all the time. I think about food often as a foodie, but yeah, I just wanted to do something personal. So that was that. But then in relation to generally my health, I was diagnosed at 16 with PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. It's a hormonal imbalance. It affects many things from hair growth to fertility, and being overweight wasn't helping the symptoms. So yeah, I was just like, okay, I'm taking my destiny into my own hands. No one's coming to save us. Jesus says, well, no one is coming to save us. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do this for myself. And the last scan I had, I actually have no cysts on my ovaries, which is great. And I'm managing what else could be symptoms. But right now, in terms of the other things, in terms of regular menstrual cycle, it's regular. Hair growth, I'm managing through laser and many other things. And yeah, I'm in a great place mentally, spiritually, physically.
Wow.
It's great.
You are a superwoman. And I really like the fact that you could easily say, I'm British. I mean, born, bred, raised, but you're really passionate about the African story. I think even...
Mama, I'm Nigerian. Don't let them cast me.
The thing is...
Okay, let me down gently.
You are more passionate about Nigeria than a lot of people in Nigeria currently. Yeah. I mean, you already know what the state of the economy is back home. So I'm saying this from a very recent point of view where born, bred, lived, working, and it's like, Nigeria's the worst. What do we have? We have nothing. Even the music that we do have, we don't receive our culture as much as I've been talking to some people like, oh my gosh, I appreciate it.
It's something I noticed actually around
like it.
Independence Day. Yeah, the diaspora is usually louder than people at home. And it's something that unites us because we're other when we're in these spaces, but at home, you get to zoom in and say, okay, what are we actually celebrating? So I hear you.
So do you think that, now why I mentioned that is a lot of people want to move abroad, abroad
Japa.
Being, Japa, exactly. There's a Japa culture that is on the rise and the airports are full every day and everyone is like, oh, better structure, better system, better healthcare, which is true, right? But then there's you that's like, oh, we have a lot of things to say. Like, from your own outside looking in, what do you appreciate about Nigeria?
Yeah, such a great question. It would be remiss of me to ignore the fact that we have problems at home, right?
Yeah.
Inflation is crazy right now. Removing the fuel subsidy had such a huge impact.
Yes.
Unemployment is
you're
crazy.
You're Nigerian. You're Niger.
I'm close.
You're following the news like this.
And I'm speaking to my friends. One of my best friends relocated after doing school here back home, and so I get the updates daily. Fuel scarcity is insane. Like, the fact that it's a thing in a country that generates oil. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But I'm very aware of pressing issues. Very recently, we had a young girl going to take her JAM exam that got kidnapped, right? And the whole country was petitioning on where is she? And so I can't be ignorant to the fact that there are many things that need fixing at home. But it's the only home we have. Like, I think my reality of going to a predominantly white school where I was very much other let me know that this is my current home.
You can run so
much.
But
it's not my home, and my mentality is British. I speak to some other Nigerian women, I'm like, oh, I would never, like, oh, how did you, there's a lot of things that are culturally different, but home is home. And if we can't champion home, who will?
Oh,
that's it.
That's so sweet. Okay, we're just going to end this on a fun note. I have a little game for you.
Oh, yeah, I love games.
So you're just going to tell me, I have a couple of questions. I'll throw you out some topics and you tell me your immediate thoughts on each. The future of African music globally.
Superstardom. Arenas, tours, money.
What year? Put it a year.
2028.
Woo! That's very soon. Most surprised country you've visited?
Oh,
most surprising.
I love Zanzibar.
Zanzibar?
Yeah, Tanzania has my heart. Take me back.
Guilty pleasure song that you still sing out loud?
I want it that way. Backstreet Boys.
Favorite celebrity interview ever?
Davido.
Oh, favorite soft life ritual?
I get a full body wax every 6 weeks.
That's your soft life ritual?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, because baby's gotta be smooth.
With all the pain?
Girl.
I'm screaming. Favorite meal?
Oh. Oh, so many things. Amala. Bigiri anyways.
Love.
With Shaki.
Me, I'm busy there doing seafood pasta.
Oh, no, we love an Alfredo now. But, no, Amala.
All right, Gracie May in 2030.
Happy.
One hill you die on when it comes to the Nigerian music industry.
Oh. One hill I would die on. We do not need to put Afro in front of every genre. Afro R&B does not exist. It's R&B. Afro drill does not exist. It's drill.
Afro soul.
It's soul. Just because we have an accent or the person is of African heritage does not mean that the genre changes.
Oh my goodness.
Please, open the borders. Open the schools. That's it.
All right. Thank you so much. I had a great time.
Thank you for having me.
coming. Yeah, I feel like I connected my Nigerian sister. Like, what's your
So I have
Nigerian
many
name?
names, but
your Igbo name.
my Igbo name is Nena.
Net.
My Yoruba name
Nena.
Folashade, Aduke, Abosede.
Wow.
In fact,
A lot.
don't try
Do you have a
and...
Ghanaian name?
Yes, Akoswa.
Oh,
Born on a
that's so
Sunday.
sweet. Guys, so I mean, I met a superhuman, a legend not even in the making. There's already a legend, right? I'm super excited to meet you, and I can't wait to see all the things you're going to do on behalf of Nigerians and Africans. And I don't know how many people give you your flowers or say thank you, because a lot of people forget, but thank you for doing all that hard work on everyone's behalf. I hope you tap into the journalism aspect as well, because broadcasters, presenters are kind of always left behind, interviewing all the stars, and then they go ahead and say, I used to interview this one before I blew. I beg, show forth the light on our head.
Don't worry, we are coming back.
All right, thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a cheer, follow Gracie May on all social media platforms. This has been the Open Up Podcast, the UK edition, right here in London with Gracie May. And of course, my name is Amanda Dara. See you. Mwah.
The Open Up Podcast Season 3 Global Edition is brought to you by Credit Direct.